The president honored several famous personalities with Padma Awards. A total of 139 Padma Awards were given for the year 2025. Prominent personalities include former Chief Justice of India Jagdish Singh Kehar, dancer Shobna Chandrakumar, and actor Anant Nag. CBSE has increased awareness regarding sugar consumption among children. Directives have been issued to install sugar boards in over 24,000 schools across the country to prevent childhood obesity and diabetes. China to launch Tianwen-2 mission, preparing to collect samples from the surface of the Kamoileva asteroid. Tianwen-2 will collect samples using touch-and-go technology. Central government launches Bharat Forecast System. Localized accurate weather information will now be available soon. System developed by IITM. India becomes preferred destination for investment. Record FDI of $81.04 billion received in the FY 2024-25. Service sector attracted the highest investment. Recently, President Donald Trump announced the imminent launch of the Gold Card Visa program. This announcement was made under a significant change in the US immigration policy. This program offers foreign nationals a path to permanent residence and eventually citizenship in exchange for a $5 million investment. The announcement was made at the Future event held in Washington, D.C. It is to be noted that the Gold Card Visa is a new initiative to attract wealthy individuals to invest in the US economy. Under this, applicants will receive permanent resident rights granted by the Green Card and streamlined path to US citizenship. This program will replace the EB-5 Investor Visa Scheme, which requires a lower investment threshold and mandates job creation. It is noteworthy that the Gold Card program could generate sufficient revenue, which may potentially help in reducing the national debt. Currently, the US has a national debt exceeding $36 trillion. Earlier, permanent citizenship in the US was obtained under the EB-5 program. Under this program, any foreign investor can apply for a green card if they invest in a US commercial enterprise and create 10 permanent full-time jobs for US workers. India has received $81.04 billion of FDI, that is foreign direct investment, in the financial year 24-25, which is 14% more compared to the previous year. This year, the service sector attracted the highest investment with a growth of 40.77%. This sector emerged as the top recipient of FDI equity, attracting 19% of the total FDI investment. Following this are the computer software and hardware and trade sectors, whose contributions are 16% and 8% respectively. It is to be noted that India's manufacturing sector has also seen growth, with an 18% increase resulting in $19.04 billion investment. This investment is promoting the country's industry and production sector. Talking about state-wise distribution in India, Maharashtra received the highest FDI investment, which is 39% of the total FDI. Following this, Karnataka received 13% and Delhi received 12% investment. Looking at countries, Singapore invested the most, accounting for 30% of the total FDI. After this are Mauritius, 17%, and the US, 11%. This clearly indicates increased confidence of foreign investors in India. For information, it is to be noted that foreign direct investment is a type of investment in which residents of one country acquire ownership of assets of a company in another country. Recently, the government launched the Bharat Forecast System to provide more localized forecasts. This model enables more accurate forecasts of small-scale weather patterns. This system has been developed by the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. It is to be noted that BFS can provide forecasts with a 6-kilometer resolution for the tropical region. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have also been included in this weather forecasting model to make it more advanced. It will help provide more accurate forecasts about local weather-related events like heavy rainfall and cyclones. It is to be noted that these forecast models have become possible due to the installation of a new supercomputer ARCA. It is noteworthy that ARCA can complete data crunching within 4 hours. Talking about the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, it is a scientific institute located in Pune, India. It extends research on the ocean atmosphere climate system necessary for improving weather and climate forecasts. The institute's objectives is to collaborate with other similar research institutes in the development and application of climate studies. Recently, China has announced that it may soon launch its Tianwen-2 mission. It will be launched from China's Xinjiang Satellite Launch Center via the Long March 3B rocket. Its purpose is to survey the asteroid 469219 Kamoileva and collect its sample. Tianwen-2 will use the touch-and-go technique to collect samples. In this method, the spacecraft hovers for some time over the surface of the asteroid and collects samples with the help of a robot. It is to be noted that Kamoileva was discovered in 2016 by the Pan-STARRS-1 telescope in Hawaii. It is a quasi-satellite of Earth, which means it orbits the Sun but remains close to the Earth. It is also influenced by Earth's gravity. Its orbit is elliptical and appears to orbit ahead of and behind the Earth. Kamoileva has been in this orbit for approximately 100 years and is expected to remain in this orbit for the next 300 years. Scientists believe that the discovery of this asteroid will help them find clues about how quasi-satellites are formed and how their orbits evolved over time. For information, it is to be noted that Tianwen-2 is the second mission of the Tianwen series. The first mission of this series was Tianwen-1, a Mars mission, which was launched in July 2020. Recently, the World Organization for Animal Health released the first status report on global animal health. This assessment included the first comprehensive review of trends, risks, and challenges of animal diseases and their impacts on human health, food security, and economies. According to the report, infectious animal diseases are spreading in previously unaffected regions and species. Of these, nearly 47% of diseases are capable of spreading among animals. The report highlighted the increasing distribution and intensity of diseases like African swine fever, avian influenza, foot and mouth disease, and peste de petites ruminants. Along with this, the report also issued a warning that their spread is destabilizing agricultural food systems. It is noteworthy that between 2005 and 2023, almost half of the diseases notified by WAAH were of zoonotic nature, capable of infecting humans. It should be noted that diseases that can spread from animals to humans are called zoonotic diseases. Talking about World Organization for Animal Health, it is an intergovernmental organization. This organization is responsible for improving animal health worldwide. It was established as the Office International des Epizooties in 1924. It is headquartered in Paris. It is noteworthy that currently it has 182 member countries. Recently, 6 African countries signed the Memorandum of Understanding with the World Health Organization for elimination of Kala Azar. The countries included in this MOU are Chad, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, South Sudan, and Sudan. This program was organized during the 78th World Health Assembly. It is to be noted that the 78th World Health Assembly was held in Geneva from 19th to 27th May. It is noteworthy that Kala Azar is one of the neglected tropical diseases which has a very high mortality rate. NTDs are a group of diseases defined by WHO that affect the deprived populations in tropical regions. Kala Azar is a deadly parasitic disease caused by Leishmania donovani. It is transmitted by infected female sandflies. It is also known as visceral leishmaniasis. The symptoms of Kala Azar include fever, extreme fatigue, weight loss, enlargement of the spleen and liver. If untreated, it can be fatal. It is to be noted that more than 70% of the affected people of this disease are in the East African region, where half of the affected are children under 15 years of age. Talking about India, this disease is found in parts of Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, and eastern Uttar Pradesh. Recently, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has approved the execution model to implement a major project to indigenously develop the 5th generation advanced medium fighter aircraft for the Indian Air Force. The medium-weight fighter jets equipped with advanced stealth features will play a significant role in enhancing the capabilities of the Indian Air Force. India is working on the ambitious AMCA project for the development of these fighter aircrafts. The Aeronautical Development Agency will implement this program through industry partnership. The initial development cost of the project has been estimated at approximately Rs 15,000 crore. Talking about AMCA, it is the abbreviation for Advanced Medium Compact Aircraft. It will be a stealth-heavy, multi-role platform incorporating state-of-the-art technologies like sensor fusion, advanced avionics, and supercruise capability. The Defence Research Development Organization has committed to completing AMCA by 2035. It is noteworthy that DRDO is the Defence Research Development Wing of the Ministry of Defence, whose goal is to empower India with cutting-edge defence technologies. DRDO currently comprises a group of 50 laboratories. These laboratories work in various fields of defence technology such as aeronautics, weapons, electronics, combat vehicles, engineering systems, instrumentation, missiles, advanced computing and simulation, special materials, naval systems, life sciences, training, information systems, and agriculture. Recently, the Uttarakhand Forest Department has conserved more than 2,200 plant species. These conserved species include rare orchids to carnivorous plants. Among the conserved plant species, 120 species are currently listed under endangered or threatened categories. These include 75 species listed under the IUCN Red List, including the attractive white Himalayan lily and the beautiful tree fern. These plant species have been conserved through in situ and ex situ conservation measures in 7 different forest ranges of this research wing. Ex situ means conservation of species outside their natural habitat, while in situ means conservation of species in the same habitat where they are found. It is to be noted that the white Himalayan lily is a rare and fragrant species originally native to the Himalayas. Its flowers are generally white or pink in color. It contains active chemical constituents like alkaloids and furocumarins. It is commonly used in the treatment of diseases such as hyperdipsia, hepatitis, bronchitis, arthritis, etc. This species is listed in the critically endangered category of the IUCN Red List. Talking about the tree fern, it is a vascular plant species that generally reproduces by producing spores. Like flowering plants, it has roots, stems, and leaves, although it does not have flowers or seeds. It contains medicinal properties such as antioxidant, antimicrobial, antibacterial, and anti-asthmatic. Recently, the President of India honored several famous personalities with the Padma Awards, including former Chief Justice of India, Jagdish Singh Kehar, renowned dancer Shobhana Chandra Kumar, and actor Anant Nag. A total of 139 Padma Awards were given for the year 2025. Among them, 7 individuals received the Padma Vibhushan, 19 received the Padma Bhushan, and 113 received the Padma Shri Award. This list also includes 13 posthumous awardees, meaning those who were honored after their death. Besides, 10 foreign nationals, NRIs, PIOs, and OCIs were also awarded. This time, a total of 23 women were honored with the Padma Awards. It is to be noted that the Bharat Ratna and Padma Awards were established by the Government of India in 1954. Initially, the Padma Awards were known as Padma Vibhushan Awards with 3 classes. Later, the government named them respectively as Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri. The Padma Awards are India's second highest civilian honor. This award is given to individuals who have made extraordinary contributions in various fields and have done significant work. Under this, a certificate signed by the President and a medal are presented. No cash amount is given. Recently, CBSE, that is the Central Board of Secondary Education, has directed the installation of sugar boards in more than 24,000 schools across the country. The aim of this initiative is to increase awareness among students about sugar consumption. These sugar boards will provide information on how much sugar should be consumed in a day, how much sugar is present in common food items, and what healthy alternatives to sugar consumption could be. According to experts, this step is especially important for children's health because excessive sugar consumption in childhood can cause obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and other lifestyle-related diseases. It is to be noted that childhood obesity is rapidly increasing in India, which could become a major health problem in the future. Under this initiative, nutrition education will be provided to students in schools so that they can choose healthy food options and protect themselves from the harmful effects of sugar. Through sugar boards, children will be encouraged to improve their eating habits and adopt a healthy lifestyle. This effort is in accordance with the Government of India's National Health Policy and Nutrition Improvement Programs, which emphasize awareness and education to reduce child health issues and non-communicable diseases. This initiative will help in building a healthy generation in the long term, which is important for the country's socio-economic development. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Question 1. Consider the following statements regarding foreign direct investment. 1. India received $81.04 billion FDI in the financial year 2024-25. 2. This year, the service sector attracted the highest investment. 3. This year, Karnataka received the highest FDI investment. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none of these? Question number 2. Consider the following statements regarding the Bharat Forecast System. 1. It has been developed by the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. 2. It can provide forecasts with 6-kilometer resolution for the tropical region. 3. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have been used in it. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none of these? Question number 3. Consider the following statements regarding the Tianwan-2 mission. 1. This mission has been developed by China in collaboration with Japan. 2. It will be launched from the Xinchan Satellite Launch Center using the Long March 3B rocket. 3. Its purpose is to survey asteroid 469219 Kamoileva and collect samples from it. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none of these? Question number 4. Consider the following statements regarding Kala Azar. 1. It is a deadly parasitic disease caused by Leishmania donovani. 2. It spreads through infected female sandflies. 3. It is also known as visceral leishmaniasis. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none of these? Question number 5. Consider the following statements regarding white Himalayan lily. 1. It is a rare and fragrant native species of the Himalayas. 2. It contains chemical compounds such as alkaloids and furocumarins. 3. This species is listed as critically endangered in the IUCN Red List. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none of these. Recently, on World Turtle Day, the Nagshankar temple in Assam was officially declared as a model temple for turtle conservation. It is to be noted that World Turtle Day is celebrated on 23rd May. The Nagshankar temple has a large pond in which 250 to 300 turtles live. This includes critically endangered black soft-shell turtles as well. It is noteworthy that 3 rare species of turtles are found in this temple pond: black soft-shell, Indian soft-shell, and Malayan soft-shell turtles. This pond receives water supply from the Brahmaputra river basin. Recently, Ram Mohan was appointed as the new director of MPEDA. He joined MPEDA in 2003. It is to be noted that he has played important roles in MPEDA in marketing, quality assurance, infrastructure development, and as resident director in Tokyo. It is to be noted that MPEDA is the abbreviation of Marine Products Export Development Authority. It is a statutory body under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry assigned the primary task of promoting exports of marine products. This authority is headquartered in Kochi, Kerala. Recently, an eruption occurred at the Kilauea volcano on Hawaii's Big Island. This is the 23rd eruption of this volcano in the last 6 months. It is to be noted that Kilauea is one of the 6 active volcanoes in Hawaii and has been erupting repeatedly since 1983. It is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. It is noteworthy that Kilauea is a Hawaiian word meaning to spew or to spread a lot, which reflects its continuously flowing lava. It is to be noted that Hawaii is a state of the United States located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It is the only state of the USA that is entirely made up of islands. Recently, a team of researchers from Sher-e-Kashmir Agricultural Science University has developed India's first gene-edited sheep. It is to be noted that after 4 years of research, this gene-edited sheep has been developed. It is a remarkable achievement in the field of genetics. The gene-edited species showed nearly 30% increase in muscles. It is to be noted that this gene-edited sheep does not have any foreign DNA which distinguishes it from transgenic organisms. CRISPR technology was used in the development of this gene-edited sheep. Recently, the Indian Army started its first FM radio station, Panchshul Pulse, in Pithoragarh, Uttarakhand, under the Operation Sadbhavna. This radio station was inaugurated by GOC Anindya Sen Gupta. Its main objective is to increase friendship and understanding between the army and people living near the border. This radio station operates on 88.4 FM and its signal approximately covers 12 kilometers. It will broadcast local culture, history, and stories of heroes who made significant contributions in this region. Recently, at India's request, Interpol has issued silver notices against 2 absconders. Silver notice is a color-coded notice initiated by Interpol in January this year. Its purpose is to collect and trace information about illegal assets worldwide. It is to be noted that Interpol is an intergovernmental organization whose full name is the International Criminal Police Organization. It was established in 1923 in Vienna at the International Police Congress as the International Criminal Police Commission. It has 196 member countries, including India. Its headquarters is located in Lyon, France. Recently, the central government has taken strict steps against dark patterns. Actually, dark patterns are causing rapidly increasing concerns in digital consumer experience. Due to this, the Union Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution has organized a high-level meeting. Representatives from sectors like food delivery, travel, e-commerce, pharmaceuticals, retail, and tech platforms will participate in it. Its aim is to explore regulatory and industry-driven solutions to protect online consumer rights. It is to be noted that the term dark patterns was coined in 2010 by UK user experience designer Harry Brignall. Recently, on 28th May, World Dugong Day 2025 was celebrated. It is to be noted that dugongs are the only herbivorous mammals found in India's marine ecosystem. They are also known as sea cows. They look like a cross between a seal and a whale and are distributed in the Indo-Pacific regions. This species is generally found around the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Gulf of Mannar, Park Bay, and the Gulf of Kutch. It is protected under the vulnerable category of the IUCN Red List. India has declared the country's first dugong conservation reserve near Park Bay in Tamil Nadu for its protection. That's all for now in this bulletin. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Drishti IAS English and Hindi YouTube channels.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.